Randy Ingramanson is the theoretical physicist and thriller novelist who first developed the Snowflake Method. Over the years, I've adapted this method to create what I call the author's copy kit. Randy's original method is intended to produce a finished novel, whereas my variation allows you to create the seeds of your marketing copy, including your logline, your book blurb, and your synopsis. Through this exercise, you're going to get a great idea of your themes, your genre, your audience, and an overview of your key scenes. For today's exercise, you're going to need to have finished the index outline, which is the exercise that is the first video in this three-part series. This is the third video in the series. So if you haven't watched that video and downloaded the worksheet for the index outline, I'll drop a link in the description below and finish that and return to this video. The index outline and the character profiles, the first and second videos in this series, work really well if you're working with a partner, your Nano partner. However, I do find that the Snowflake Synopsis is more of a solo exercise. You can do it with a partner, but really all you're going to need is your computer and some chill focus music. For the first part of this exercise, you're going to write your log line. This is a one-sentence summary of your book. You're going to start with a description of your main character. Don't use names in this log line. For now, you're going to describe their identity. In step 2 of this three-part exercise, you will add names. A Saudi woman on the run from her family links up with a physics prodigy who is just learning that he can see the future. Blink. A Moscow homicide detective investigates a bizarre triple murder and runs afoul of both the KGB and the FBI. Gorky Park. Beyond these examples, you can study the New York Times Book Review or even Netflix for short, exciting one-sentence descriptions. Both the Times and many streaming services have developed a knack for capturing the gist of a story and hooking viewers or readers in just one sentence. Don't spend more than an hour on this exercise, and also don't just jot down the first thing that pops into your mind. This is challenging, but it shouldn't be too hard. For the next part of the snowflake, you're going to take this log line and you're going to turn it into a back cover book blurb or a query. They really are very much the same thing and designed in the same way. So really the end result is the same. The way you use it once your book is done is different. At this point, you will add the names of your protagonists or main characters. You can keep their description of their identity from the log line. The second sentence is going to place the reader squarely in the setting, and then you're going to build the intrigue. For a cozy mystery, an intrigue would be the murder, or for a romance, the intrigue would be boy meets girl. Next, you're going to add the inciting incident, and the inciting incident is the hook that propels us into the action. So it is the point of no return. It is what happens to propel your protagonist into conflict and presents a problem that needs to be solved. After introducing the inciting incident, we want a suggestion of who the protagonist was before the incident happened, and you can introduce the antagonist and allude to who the protagonist will become by the end of the book. Layer in the intrigue and stakes until you build up to the climax of the book, and then you're going to tease the ending. So whether it's a pitch for agents or the back cover blurb, you're not going to reveal the ending in this piece of copy. This will cover about half of the book. In the next section of the Snowflake, in the synopsis, you will actually reveal the ending. To test how successful you are with this blurb, check it to see if you give a really good sense of who your protagonist is before the inciting incident, and an idea of the stakes and how the stakes transform that protagonist. If you've got that, then you've got a pretty good pitch. So now that we have the blurb, we're ready for the final lace around the outside of the snowflake, and this is the synopsis. So for the synopsis part of this exercise, you're going to need the results from the index outline. And as I said before, that's linked below if you haven't completed that. So you're going to need the 30 key scene cards that you created during the index outline and the Trello or Scrivener project that you transferred those scene cards into a 3-part structure. Now you're going to open a new document and create 3 pages or 3 sections and title each section with part 1, part 2, and part 3. You're going to take your blurb that you just created and copy it into this document, and then go through and cut and paste sections of that blurb into the timeline of the 3-part structure. The introduction of the protagonist's identity and the name and the inciting incident goes in part 1. Your stakes, your antagonist introduction, and moving towards the climax in part 2, and then the tease of the end goes into part 3. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to go through all of the scenes that you created for the index outline, and you're going to select the key scenes that move the plot forward. You take those scenes and place them into the 3-part chronology of the synopsis, so the 3 sections or 3 pages that you made, and then pair why this matters to the protagonist with the main point of the key scene. Keep on doing this. Go through each scene and select the ones that are going to end up in the synopsis, and rinse and repeat until you have the whole timeline filled out in this document through beginning, climax to end. At this point, it's going to be really clunky. It's not going to read well, but it will give the whole flow and the story arc and plot patterns of the entire story. So it will be the framework for the synopsis. What you need to do at this point is make a couple of passes and edit for style, flow, pacing, sentence variation until it reads well. You don't have to spend too much time polishing this to diamond luster, because the synopsis is probably, out of the copy kit, the least used. However, it is probably the most informative for your NaNoWriMo project, in that it will really give you a good blueprint for your book. Agents rarely request a synopsis. Sometimes they do, but mostly they don't. So this is going to be really more of a working document for you. So polish it until it reads well for you and gives you a really good bird's eye view of your story. And at that point, you're done with your snowflake, and you have produced the prototype for your author's copy kit. You'll return to this document over and over again, or actually this series of documents. So your log line, your book blurb / query or pitch, and your synopsis, and refine it. Things certainly will change. But by the time you're ready to publish your book, you're really going to have your marketing copy pretty much well settled, and it will be really quite a relief to not have to write this from scratch when you're done with your book and ready to sell it. Okay, well, I hope you liked that exercise. This is the last video in the 3-part series leading up to NaNoWriMo. If you're watching this at an upload, the NaNoWriMo 2022 event will be happening in a couple of days. It will start. And during the month of November 2022, I will be uploading immersive writing sessions and lots of fun goodies for NaNoWriMo. I'll be doing it with you, so I will be checking in on my Patreon, which is patreon.com/Kitty Turner. I'll be publishing worksheets and coaching sessions and all sorts of goodies there. Share this with other friends and writers who can benefit from these exercises. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.